All right, so step one, I filmed on multiple different cameras for this film, and the reason for that was because I wanted to show students that cameras change things. And one of the things that I've been thinking about a lot lately has been, why do we always ask, what is the best camera? What tools do I need? As opposed to asking filmmakers and artists, what are you trying to convey? What I mean by that is the camera is a tool. It's like a paintbrush like any other artist. And so I decided for this one, I was gonna film on 3 different cameras. And the reason for that, the why, if you will, is because one camera represented one thing, another one represented another thing, and the other one represented a third thing. And so as we go through this process, I'm gonna share with you what those things are and why I made those decisions. Also, I wanted to challenge myself to try something that I've never really done before. I've never done any point of view camera stuff. I've never done any, I don't do a lot of deep depth of field, so most of the short film I shot at like F8 and F11. If you're like, I don't even know what that means, you'll see here in a little bit as we go through all this over the next couple of videos. But what I want you to think about and consider is, why are you using the tool that you're using? It could be budget. It could be style, it could be technique, it could be tone, it could be all of these different things, but consider what the why is. I've also been pretty active on Reddit the last couple of weeks with posting all these things and trying to figure out what the community needs, what filmmakers need, what artists need. And so if this is something that's not helpful to you, what would be helpful to you? And so, because this whole series and this whole YouTube is for you, the filmmaker, the artist. I want you to be inspired to go do your things. I want you to know that probably the tools you have right now are enough to make your project. And so, and I'm gonna go through all of that kind of in sync with you so we can see together where the holes are. I've been doing this for a long time, but I'm still able to learn new things. And this experience was really, really hard, for one, but it was also really rewarding because I don't know if this film would have really made any sense if I had people come and help me with it. I don't even know how I would have communicated some of it. So I'm gonna put up the, I'm gonna put up the development form that I put together, and I'm also gonna make a bunch of changes in there. So at this point, we've had a lot of people that have downloaded it. So if you're watching that because of this, or you downloaded that because of this, then thank you so much. And if you're watching this and you're like, what is a development form? I'll drop a link at the bottom, but basically it's a roadmap to help you get your project off the ground. And so, because I want you to feel more empowered to go do those things, and I want you to be able to feel empowered to be able to actually go accomplish those goals. And a lot of people will tell you just start, and that's a great piece of advice. But what I realized from teaching over the last 5 years is telling somebody to start and they don't know what that means, it's actually not helpful at all. And so that's why I put these things together. What else has been going on? Oh, my computer was recording for no reason. So my dishwasher just came on, so it might be a little loud. I'll try to drown this out, but I want to keep going because we're already here. So the 3 things that I ended up using for this video were, I used a ZR800. And so the ZR800 was for a mini DV tape that I filmed during the pandemic. I had filmed some stuff from my hometown a long, long time ago. During the pandemic. Well, it feels like a long time ago, but it was like 2021. And this video I've never actually digitized, but it has a lot of stuff on it that I really wanted to do something with, but I never knew what I was going to do with it. And so that's going to be part of this project as well. The other thing that I'm working with is not in here. I used my iPhone, that was for one of the cameras, and then I also used this little Pocket 2K action cam. It is not 2K. I don't know what it is. It records in AVI format, which was very, I hadn't had something shoot in AVI format in a very long time. So I'm gonna digitize this in as well. I mean, it's already digitized, but I'm gonna import it in. And this is actually where it kind of all started. And this camera is what inspired this film to be made. So, and it was $18. $18. It's worth about $18. And then the last thing, man, I had too many cameras for this. And then I'm also using the old trusty FS7. And so this may not be something you have. You didn't need to use these camera setups. I had all these things. If you're making a film for the first time, please don't get a camera like this. It's gonna be too overwhelming. It was almost too overwhelming for me doing this. You'll see the difference in which I think is great. And so, but one of the things that I want you to get from this short film, I don't know if the short film is gonna be any good. Full disclosure. I made it by myself and in an afternoon. I do know that this is how a student usually goes about making a film. It's gonna be 1 or 2 cameras, it's gonna be 1 or 2 people, it's gonna be 1 or 2 locations. Usually it's gonna have a bunch of dialogue, even though I say to try to get rid of some of that. I have a lot of students fight me on their first film being silent, but I want you to be able to communicate non-verbally before you can communicate verbally. Dialogue is hard, and also acting is hard. And so one of the things that I knew I didn't have was the acting chops. I knew that dialogue was not going to be important, but I did know that I could sit and I knew how I was going to edit it and the sound design and all those kind of things. So I was like, okay, I can get the emotion across without that. So I'm going to show you how to do that as well throughout this process. The other thing that I had was a very abstract idea of combining experimental film techniques with regular filmmaking techniques. And so it is my goal with this video, with this film, well, this video and then the subsequent film, is that it will have almost every type of shot and basically rule and technique that I've learned over the 20 years of doing this. I don't know if I got all of them. I might have failed in that capacity to get all of them in there, but what I wanted to do was be able to show you how all these things communicate emotion and communication feeling. And so I always tell my students, film is feeling. You can make videos, you can make movies, all those kind of things, but if you're trying to make like films and cinema, you're gonna have to get some emotion in there. And it doesn't have to be a drama, it doesn't have to be a horror movie, it doesn't have to be any of those things. It can be exactly what you want it to look like. And for this one, I wanted it to be an experimental film that was combined with some other things. So I wanted to play with some like home movie techniques and some documentary style techniques, a little bit of voyeurism. And I want you to be able to see that all of these things are communicating something. They're all communicating something to your audience, and that's putting you into a position to actually be able to move them emotionally. Once you know that, then you realize that everything visually is trying to manipulate you a little bit. And that's a power you hold as a filmmaker, as a visual artist, is you're gonna have to make somebody feel something. And if you don't think about what that feeling is before you start, somebody else is gonna think about it for you. And I don't want that to be the case. I tell all my students that you don't want somebody else's ideas in your head and then you're communicating something out, and maybe it was something that wanted to be funny or scary or heartfelt or whatever, and that's not how it lands and it turns into something else. That's not what you were meaning to do, so think about that throughout everything. And that's what the development form is for. So basically, you can go through and be like, boom, 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 boom. These are all the things that I want my audience to know, and this is how I want them to know it. So that's what I did with this whole thing. I'll put a link to a PDF with my development form. And like I said, I'm also going through and I'm editing all of the development form. I'm putting everything together so it'll be a little bit easier to read. I realized when I was going through it, I was like, I've been doing this for a long time and I don't even know what I'm talking about right now. So we're gonna fix all of those kind of things up. If you have any notes, any suggestions, anything like that, drop them down in the comments below. This is for you. I want to share whatever is helpful with you, but I realized I wish that this would have been around whenever I was in my early 20s, a while ago, and had somebody actually talking about what it was like to be an artist, what it was like to be a filmmaker, what it was like to actually go through the day-to-day and the choices that you're going to have to make. And so why are you making the choices that you're making as an artist? You don't have to ever tell anybody that, but you should definitely know what your why is. So I hope this was helpful. I'm very excited to go through, so I'm gonna have a bunch of videos over the next couple of weeks of how to import footage, how to edit, how to discern between which camera should you use. So like I said, I filmed this from 3 different types of cameras, at least 3 different types of cameras. And so you can see what actually, would the iPhone work? The answer was yes, the iPhone would work. And so, but I hope you enjoyed this video. I hope you understand a little bit more about why I'm doing what I'm doing on this channel. Anything I can do to help, please drop it in the comments, and I can't wait to see what you create. Let's get started.